All right. Thank you for doing this, sir.
Welcome.
If you're watching this, it's a full circle moment because I've known you since 2018, I believe.
Yes.
And to those who don't know, this was and might be my psychology professor
Yeah.
at Cindy College.
Yes.
Free advert for Cindy College. And I remember, some days when I used to skip class for football, the one class I didn't like to skip was psychology.
The psychology class.
And at that time, if you remember, you were part-time.
Correct.
So there were days we didn't have you. And I still have the note inside.
Oh,
Some of the tests.
really?
Yes, I will show you after this. It's still there. And I wrote some of those tests down.
Uh-huh.
And I used to run it on my friends. So we used to have like that. To those who don't know, most of you will not know, but this is my psychology professor from 2018, and this is 2026.
26.
Ooh,
It's a long time. If you'd have waited for another 2 years, it would have been a decade.
a decade. Wow.
Yeah.
The idea of this is, honestly, I would say that the classes we had, especially those experiments, the tests, and it did something to me because I was coming from a place where I didn't have opportunity to understand my person in a contextual manner, because the models of behavior, those things, it gave me an opportunity to become more self-aware. Now I interface with a lot of people, and especially now in my workplace, I'm in the center of about 4 or 5 generations, from the smallest ones to like from a kid of about 3 years old to those in the college of about 25, 23 years old. And it's a constant shift for me, because in the morning when my office was in the school, when I'm stepping into the campus, I'm seeing young kids, then I'm seeing preteens, then teenagers. And initially, it took me some time to adjust to their way of communication. At some point, it felt like, from my culture, respect is a very serious thing. But this generation, their style is absolutely different. Like, some of them walk up to me and they're like, "Hi, bro, how are you?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I wish you were born a few years back. You'll understand that this is a grave atrocity you just committed."
True.
But I tagged this podcast the School of Inspiration for a reason. I believe in process, and I understand that they are great men, and I found out that their secret is in their story. However, there are a lot of great people out there that they've grown to an extent where the level they are now, to an extent, it has eroded the pain of what they went through many years ago. So now I'm looking at, okay, I understand this man started from scratch, but he's been 15 years, 20 years in comfort and luxury, that it's tough for him to actually relate to those who are presently in the struggle.
Yeah.
The goal is for me to have men with inspiring stories and insight that can help people. The knowledge, the insight shared is applicable here and now. Not something far-fetched. If a billionaire is telling me his struggle now, I won't be able to relate because I'm not there yet.
True.
But if someone who is within my financial bracket, within my career Keda is sharing their story, or someone who just left where I am a year, 2 years ago, it's easily relatable for me.
Yeah.
So I was listening to the great leadership coach John C. Maxwell, and he was sharing about the power of mindset.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the experiments we had was about the brain, how it functions, and you ran some tests on us to just sort of help us understand how our brain works.
Yeah.
The essence of this is, for me, I have some questions. This is me asking you a question for a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, 18-year-old, 25-year-old who is going through that transformation, that transition, especially those between 18 and 24, because the prefrontal cortex is still developing, and because of the speed of the way things are, they are faced with serious decisions that it's important for them to have counsel. And there's a lot of content out there, but I think I'm safe to say that you're a licensed therapist.
Yeah.
So I think you might not take my word for it, but this is a licensed therapist who's been practicing for many years.
Many years.
So walk me through, what do you think is the major obstruction to people's growth, especially when it comes to things that have to do with decision making and mindset? So before we go, please tell somebody who don't know you. I know you. Tell somebody who doesn't know you, who's watching this for the first time. Tell us about you.
And my name is Sandesh Zephaniah. I believe my parents named me this. Sandesh simply means message, and Zephaniah means treasure of God. So I'm a treasure of God, giving the good news to people. I mean, that's who I am in a nutshell. Apart from that, professionally, I'm also a psychologist. Been working in this field for almost a decade now. And I mean, it's so nice to see you. I have been with you as a teacher, and now transitioned even as my colleague. Is that is it okay to say that?
It's fine. It's fine.
Transition to see you as my colleague, and I think that's a cycle of life.
Unexpected.
It's an unexpected thing that I've witnessed.
Thank God I didn't do you bad.
Absolutely. So when you were just asking me about this, how do people make it, especially for the 18 years and the 25 years, what is it that they can take away?
How important is the mind in their trajectory to achieving success in life?
The way I look at it is, especially when we talk about mindset. In fact, Carol Deck, she gives an example of how a student who fails in his exam. So we see two different students, and how do they interpret that situation? So one student tells, I failed because I don't think I'm capable enough to pass. I'm a dumb student. And the other student, same situation. But he will say, I failed now, but I think I can do much more better the next time. So what I call this as the difference between growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. Growth mindset is all about interpreting the situation. It's how you interpret a particular situation and see chances or scope to improve yourself better. than just becoming fixed to one particular situation and say, well, this is just me, and I don't think I can do it better. And this is where almost all of us are headed to. And this is where we become even comfortable. Now, I get this job, 9 to 5, I earn my money, I go home, watch Netflix, I sleep, and I repeat.
And doom scroll.
Yeah. And doom scrolling. So this is what is happening. I mean, I think a huge percentage of people are following this pattern. And there's just 1% of people who always think, what next? What can I do to make my life better? And it's not that they always need to have that particular skill. It's all people with growth mindset, they learn the ability and they want to push themselves even more further ahead to see what can be done. So I think it's the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset that really plays a role, especially in people becoming successful. So they are in the growth mindset, and the obstruction is the fixed mindset.
Fixed mindset. Now, I have a question. You're a professor. You've seen students.
Yeah.
How do you deal with, or how do you address a situation where you can clinically diagnose that a student is suffering from a fixed mindset syndrome?
Well, honestly, we don't diagnose them as being a fixed mindset syndrome because, see, the whole trend right now where you see it, I think it's a pattern that we're all following. It's become an habit where everybody's doing it. Now, a student's parent is working hard, is going to this 9 to 5 job, and he's providing for his son and teaching him, you also need to get a job, and you also need to provide for your family, and you also need to follow the same pattern. It's somehow ancestry in the way we get this done. It's become a pattern today. And I'm here out there, I always tell my students, if we don't change the situation now, I think we are doomed. So I encourage all my students, especially, to start thinking different. How can I come out of the cycle? We are inside a loop, technically. I come, I do my. Why do you study? I study because I need to get a good job. Why do you need a good job? So that I learn well. Why do you want to earn? Because
Take care of my
I
family.
can get married. Why do you get married? I can have children. Why do you want to have children? So that I can teach them what I did. You see the pattern? It follows. And then they lie to themselves. What do they lie? They go on and say, you need to be something different. You got to do something different. But sitting in the same place, not even moving a bit. That's what I call fixed mindset. That's what you just said, fixed mindset syndrome.
You mentioned something, you said pattern. And I think pattern is how habits are formed.
Yeah.
Repeating something
Over and
over
again,
and over
yes.
again. Now, for a young person who wants to break the pattern, how important is, let me find the proper word, a young person who has observed, okay, I think I'm in a loop. Because looking at, okay, this is how my father lived his life, this is how my uncle lived their life, and this is the result they've got because this is how they did it. How important is risk taking in becoming successful?
See, the way I see this is, I think it all boils down to what they've been fed.
Mm.
And I don't blame the education industry, but look around.
Mm.
Where are we really heading towards? I mean, being a professor myself, I see a very stagnant pattern here. We teach our students. See, I know the truth that whatever we teach, especially in the Indian form of education, sorry, no offense,
Mm.
but whatever we teach, we ask them to mug up and then vomit on the paper.
Mhm.
And then we tell the students if they've got good marks, we praise that student and we say, wow, you're going to be successful. But in reality, I know being a professor, just because you get good marks, it really doesn't equate to intelligence. It's more to do with memory. He's
Memory
got a
power.
good memory, and that's why he's got good marks.
Yes.
But that has nothing to do with intelligence. So when we teach this pattern over and over and over again, right? I'm so sorry. What's the question again?
The question is, how important is ability or having appetite for risk taking to becoming successful?
Yeah. So because of this education system, what happens? We are somehow unconsciously or wiring the students saying, this is the pattern, this is what you need to do. You need to get good marks. If you get good marks in schools, a student getting good marks is equated to be a leader. Right? When I was studying in my school,
Huh.
I didn't have good marks. I was an average guy. But my friend who used to get 90s, he was always made the class leader. But did he really have the ability to be a leader? Absolutely not. In fact, my friend who were in the backbench, that fellow had a very good skill to become a leader, but he had no marks. So this is how education is imbibing those traits in us, which actually makes us very difficult to really come out of this mindset. So that is why I keep telling my students, go learn, pick on a new skill, have something that you could, because I think the way I see it, everybody requires some kind of inspiration.
Yeah. And this is the
Why
school
do
of
I need
inspiration.
this? Why do I need to become great? What is my inspiration? Unless you don't have that inspiration, I don't think you'll be able to really walk towards that 1% growth mindset. It's going to be very difficult. So build on that inspiration. And instead of just stagnating over the same old practices, study well, do well, get married, I don't think we are going anywhere with this.
One more question. Suppose, just my example, all right? My wife has a master's degree. I don't have. And as a 2019, our salary was around 25,000. I got an offer. I'm a skilled professional in media, photographs, videographs, and design. As a 2019, without a master's degree, I got an offer for the same 25,000. And this offer is coming without an interview. So I'm saying, to corroborate what you just said, that our education system has made learning to look like it's only possible within the four walls of a classroom.
Yes.
And especially the Indian society. I had one of my mentors used to say that the easiest thing to get in India is certificate.
That is actually so true, but it is really sad.
He said, you just walk on the street. If you snap your hand like this, you can bring out 50 software engineers with masters.
Yes.
Put them on the job. You can bring out 100 mechanical engineer.
Yes.
Put them in a factory and you'll be surprised at how much theoretical knowledge they have, but they cannot translate it into
practice.
practice. That a guy who went to a showroom to learn is actually more skilled than a guy who spent 5 years in engineering college. And this is where Dr. Sam Adeyemi was teaching one day, and he was saying that instead of explicit knowledge alone, today go for tacit knowledge. He said that because he said explicit is textbook knowledge.
Yes.
But tacit is apprenticeship, where
Practical wisdom.
you spend time maybe in a technical institution or a skill development institute where you are trained in applicable knowledge.
Yes.
And that is what I did many years ago when I was in the university in Nigeria before coming to India. I was, I think, second year, my 200 level. I was also in a technology university. My program, I was doing a double honors, industrial technology and education. So I was training to be a teacher and an industrial technologist. I was specialized in building technology. During my second year, I was only stuck with the allowance I get from my mother. So I would, and it's not much. By the second week of the month, it's gone. And I'm stuck looking at the sky praying, what will I do?
What will I do?
So one day during summer, I was just walking outside the campus and I saw a poster, graphics design crash course.
Crash course.
It was, I think, 5,000 naira then. This is 2014, I think. And I took the last allowance I had, and because I was already upset with my financial state. This is not nice. I want to be able to earn for myself, and my certificate will take another 3 years. How will I survive on this campus? So I went for the training, and I think it was around 3 weeks. That was my first professional training into design. Now, after that training, I discovered some gaps are still there. So I called up the trainer. I told him, I said, I would like to learn more, but the training is over. What do I do? He said, I'm a working professional in the same industry, but the only time I can get for you is in the night. And this time we didn't have Zoom. So he told me, he said, the only opportunity, because I was calling him, please teach me, I want to learn more. He said, the only thing I can do for you is you will have to come to my office in the night, because he has accommodation in his office. He said, the only chance I will get is maybe around 1 hour, 2 hours in the night. You have to come and spend some time with me. Only then will I be able to teach you. So what would I do? After my lectures, in the evening, I would just rest for some time. And in the evening, in the night, I would take transport. And his place was far. So I would go there in the night, stay with him. When he's done with his work, then he will spend some time with me, teach me some more. And I will have to sleep over there. Early in the morning, around 5:30, 6, I have to wake up, go back to my campus, and go to class. And that skill has brought me to where I am today. I now lead a team in an established institution. So
just want to ask you, what was that driving force that made you learn that skill even in the night, sacrificing your sleep? What was that?
For me, it was first, my mom worked with the government. She was a teacher. She served for 35 years as a teacher. Finally, when she got the highest promotion in the Teaching Service Commission, she passed away after that, I think 2 weeks after that. I looked at her and I saw our salary was only this much. But then I looked around there are other people who were not as learned as she was,
She was
but they are doing financially better.
better.
They had more influence. And I said to myself, I said, this cannot be it. Yeah, I'm studying, but I don't think
Something is wrong.
something is missing.
Something is missing.
This equation is not balanced because she could only afford a certain amount in the month for me. And she was raising 4 children. She did her best. A lot of times she had to take loans to pay our fees and all that. I didn't want to go through that. So some days I'm hungry. Like, there's no money anywhere. What will I do? It was that hunger. It was that hunger that pushed me to say, I can do something. I have time in my hands. I would say to people that if you are broke and you have time, you're not really broke. Exchange that time for something tangible that can fetch you money later. So that was what I did.
So you have the drive.
Yes.
In fact, Abraham Maslow, he gives a very famous theory. I'm sure most of them will know it. It's called as hierarchy of needs. It talks about the first being the primary need. What are the primary needs? Hunger, shelter, and all of it. And then you have the other need, and it goes on. So there are 5 needs. So when I was just reading that and I was teaching my students, I suddenly had this thought, and I gave this as an example. Suppose a person, a beggar, he wants, his primary need to be met.
Yeah.
That is hunger, physical hunger. And you go and give him 1 crore rupees. You know what he's going to do with that? He's going to buy food worth 1 crore. Because his primary need is hunger. You have the secondary need, then you have the third, you have the fourth, you have the fifth. But because he's still in that primary need, his entire drive is, what am I going to do with this 1 crore? And he's going to buy himself all the McDs,
Burger
Kings, and is going to stuff his house with that. So that talks about fixed mindset. When your drive is only about, especially when you spoke about inspiration, right? What was your drive? It was hunger. So this person is only going to think about this, and is not going to step ahead. That's what would really sum up.
One more question is that is it true that let me think twice before saying this. Is it true that the current education state in India is not producing the right kind of people that we need in society? The way students are trained. I saw a video of a young boy who was giving an example from 1957. In that video, he showed what an airplane looked like in 1957 and what it looks like now. And then he showed how, I think, an hotel used to look like in 1957 and how it looks like now. Then he came to the classroom. He said, 1957, this is what our classroom looked like. And this is 2020, I think 25 or 26.
Yes.
And he said, it's still the same.
Still the same.
How important is evolving to adapt to the change that is happening currently? How important is it for us, especially first as a society, to change the way we think? Because I've seen a lot of people that if you want to get married, as a Paka Indian family, what are the first thing they'll ask you? What did you study?
Study. And what is your job? Very important. What is your salary?
What is your salary?
Yeah.
So, but now, for example, a guy does not have a degree, but he's skilled, and but still the society they look at him like,
Never accept him.
hey,
What
he's
is
nothing.
yours? Yeah.
He doesn't have
Yes.
degree.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people with degree who cannot even add value
True.
to the society with the degree they have. But people who did not, I think education is rightly divided into two, formal and informal.
Yes.
Is informal education less than formal education? That's my question.
In fact, to answer this, I want to first talk about this mindset. I was reading this somewhere, and the elephant
Hmm.
and a bird.
Okay.
The bird starts flying. Okay, and it flies so high, reaches the sky. The elephant goes to her son and says, "Look at your friend. He's flying so high, and you are not able to do that." And this elephant starts with
Trying to
its
fly.
big ears, starts to flap and tries hard, but is never able to reach it. But the matter of fact, we all know elephant has biggest power that can do so many other better things than the bird. This kind of mindset is going on in our Indian education system. Unless we progress from this, kind of thinking, I think you're still going to be compared with a bird while you are an elephant. And it's so sad to see that, especially when you were telling about informal and formal education. I had a friend who was so good at studies. In fact, she was a gold medalist in a master's. And today, she couldn't find herself a job at all.
As a gold medalist.
Gold medalist. Theoretically, she is
Sound.
extremely sound. You ask her any theories, she's going to just blurt out all the theories she can.
All the laws.
But you ask her to apply that knowledge, she starts to shiver. Why? Because she's been taught to study. She's been taught to get good marks. She's been taught to, somehow we've kept this standard. If I do all of this, then I'm a successful person. And if I do the other way around, then I'm going to be a big failure. But I think this kind of shift has to change a lot now. I think many companies, especially MNCs, after the advent of MNCs in India, I think they're seeing a different shift already.
Yeah.
We're not even bothering about your education anymore. We're seeing what is it that praise has got to help my company move forward. Because of the advent of all these MNCs today, I can definitely see there's a slight shift. But still,
There's a lot
since
of
our
work.
Indian education system, we have come to a position now to say, fine, at least study so that you get an entry into the MNCs. So we also know studies is just an entry ticket and not a defining moment for a student to be successful. Back in those days, Sachin Tendulkar played cricket.
Yes.
Right? Dhoni played cricket. You had A. Raman playing music. And when I wanted to pursue that,
Music.
parents were very strict. Like, yeah, music is okay, cricket is okay, but studies first.
Same thing with my mother.
Yeah, but I think now there's a shift. People are able to understand. Yes, because maybe cricket also is all about money today. So people are able to understand. Okay, there is. So I feel there is some kind of evolution that is happening. We're progressing, but are we there yet? No,
And is it at the speed that it should be?
it is not. And that's the sad part. Because I think, but at least I'm very happy that at least we have thinkers today. We have 20 to 30% of thinkers who are thinking in that area, but we still have a big mass population who still think traditional learning, traditional mindset, traditional living is more important. And what do I mean by traditional living? Study, get a job, get married, make a home. But I'm not saying that is wrong. It's good.
It's important.
But if you're talking about a growth mindset, then that is bad.
Okay, now I want to shift a little bit. How do you think communication affects growth, especially when you have to work with people? How important is communication?
I think communication has become the key factor in every aspect. In fact, when I was doing my master's, I had one professor who taught us the effectiveness of communication. And he gave us an assignment. He said, all of you go home today and take 2 pots, put seed, and daily water it. But keep these 2 pots at 2 different corners of the house. And go to the pot that is at the other corner and speak words of curses. Speak curses. Say you're not going to grow well. Say you're ugly. And do whatever thing possible, but curse it. And to the other pot, start saying you're going to grow beautifully. You're going to turn out to be a beautiful flower, and start blessing it. And then see the result. And I don't know how many of them tried, but I definitely tried. And trust me, the pot that I spoke good words to started growing so fast, and the pot that I started cursing. So communication is understood even by
Plants.
non-sentient beings.
Non-sentient beings.
So communication is the key. So the more you keep telling, that's why I always, especially in my psychology sessions, I always tell, always speak the right words. The more you speak the right words, and that's how you're going to see the blessing in your life as well.
So words are powerful.
Yeah, words are powerful. Words are power.
Even in a relationship.
Extremely. There's no doubt about it. I mean, in any marriage relationships or any other relationship for that matter, I think words is everything. Words are everything. Especially even in the long distance relationship or in the close relationship, I think words play a very important role. I know couples who are married 20, 30 years together, but have a very bad marriage. They stay together, there's a proximity, but there's no communication at all. And then I also know couples who are far off, but they're so well tight-knit because of the kind of communication they keep having. That's why they always, in our Indian context, if you look at it, a boy and a girl get, they get along, get into a relationship, and they're so good. And after they get married, somewhere, this communication kind of goes away. Because probably it could also be because now I've already met the agenda. I got married. So, yeah.
There's nothing else
There's nothing else to speak. And they spend the rest of their lives don't even know what to speak next. Yeah. So communication is the key.
I'm seeing a trend now. I don't know if you've noticed it too. The younger generation, they don't want to get married. A lot of them prefer live-in relationship. When you mention marriage, they're like, no, no way. I don't even want to do that. Why do you think that is happening? Is it because of of the examples they've seen in parents, or how the society has made the process of getting marriage to be like? For example, I know in India we have arranged marriage. And honestly, to an extent, I find it difficult to understand that I'm supposed to spend the next 40 years, 50 years of my life with this person that I've not had the opportunity to interact with, to understand what kind of person they are. And just because my parents said this person looks good on paper, we've done background verification, the family is settled, is an engineer, she is a medical doctor, she's getting 1 lakh rupee salary per month.
Your life is sorted.
Your life
Get
is
married to
sorted.
her.
So what else do you want?
Yeah.
I find it tough to reconcile that with having a home where there is a heart-to-heart connection. And sincerely, I've met people who are suffering in their marriage, and they say, I asked them, I said, how did you get married? They said, my parents chose. But you're suffering now. What can you do? They're like, I can't do anything. So when I meet young people, one even looked at me and said, why did you get married so early? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're not even 35. You're already married. When I ask some, when will you get married? They're like, no way.
No way.
Why do you think that is happening?
No, actually, to look at this, first of all, I don't think there's anything wrong with the arranged marriage or the love marriage, to be honest. Because you have suffering on both ends, you have pain on the both ends, and you have love on both ends as well. I have seen successful arranged marriages even to this day, and I've seen horrible love marriages even to this day. In fact, in our Indian court system, if you go to the family courts, you'll find out, surprisingly, or rather shockingly, love marriage divorces are more than arranged marriages. I don't think it's really an arranged or love marriage, but I think it's more to do with another concept of, like we discussed about communication. See, what happens in a love marriage is you've been pursuing this person for quite some time, and you're like every Indian movie shows it.
Bollywood.
Yeah, you name any movie, there is the movie agenda is to get married to that girl, and there is this hero who starts going chasing her, finally convinces her, and now the villain or the father of the bride, right? And he has to fight all the odds, and finally, where the climax comes, when they're tying the knot. But little do they know that is actually the beginning. That's the trailer, not the climax.
The climax.
So this has kind of set in a pattern to all those watchers, viewers. We've somehow seen this trend. We've been seeing this trend, and all of us have learned that love, marriage is the main agenda in a love is to get married. What next is a big question mark. Nobody really knows. And somehow they try their best. There's a heroic chase, there's a police. In real life, there's a lot of things, there's a fight and this and that. And finally, you get married. Now you don't know what to do.
They don't know what is love.
Yeah, because you've done everything. And now there's there's no spark anymore.
A hit with reality.
Yeah.
The
But in
butterflies have
fact, when
gone.
you talk about the arranged marriages, fortunately, because now, of course, the idea is they don't even know each other and they finally get to meet. But then there's a spark. There's a continuum of spark that is going on because I'm learning about you every day. But that doesn't mean that I'm actually supporting arranged marriage because I myself loved my wife and got married, right?
So I am not the only one.
Yeah, you're not the only one. But I think what really worked, in fact, yesterday only I celebrated 5 years of our wedding anniversary. But I think what really, by God's grace, what I think works out in between us is it's that we are learning each other every day. Somehow learning every day.
Growth
There's
mindset.
a lot of change. There's a lot, growth mindset. There's a lot of change. And my wife tells you're no more like how you were 5 years
5
back.
years ago.
Of course, I'm no more that. And I also get to say the same thing. But the beauty is we are learning. And that's what, growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. If you already are fixated, that's it. There's nothing else. Then you're walking to the family court now. But because you have a growth mindset, you're able to sustain. And I think it's true even with people, especially the youngsters, whom I get to hear a lot. Live-in is better than marriage.
Is it really true? Is living better than marriage?
Well, I don't support live-in relationship. Matter of fact is, it comes from a point of insecurity. Right? It comes live-in marriage, live-in relationships itself. The basis itself is insecurity. There's no trust. I will be with you
If
as long as I want to, but if I get somebody else, I will go away. Or I will be with you. If things go well, maybe we will see. If not, we'll just remain like this. It's more comfortable. You don't have to really, work your way through a relationship because relationships are always meant to be worked at. There's not a day where you don't work in your relationship. And it's taxing, to be honest. It's not easy, right? You have to learn your spouse's differences.
Especially when there's a large cultural difference.
Yeah.
Like for me and my wife,
Yes.
we were raised in entirely different continents,
Yes.
different household, different culture.
Yes.
Whoa. So certain things were alien to me when we got married. And as I grew, I discovered it's normal here.
Yeah. See, I am a non-vegetarian. My wife comes from a vegetarian family.
Brahmana.
Yeah. So again, you see, there's a lot of cultural things that we need to learn. I have to be sensitive to our culture. She has to be sensitive to my culture. But that's what I'm saying. There's beauty in that. But the moment I say live in, I don't want to do all of that. I will be me, you be you. Let's see what can be best. If it doesn't work, let's leave. This is exactly what I meant by fixed mindset. So I say those who get married, trust me, you are having a growth mindset and not the fixed mindset.
Okay. We've come to a decisive point. I have a question to ask you. What is the biggest failure you've ever experienced
In
your life?
a biggest failure in my life,
Or what is the biggest lesson you've learned?
I think the biggest lesson that I've ever learned was my one fear, a lack of confidence. In fact, I remember this when I was in my late 20s, when I was 26. I remember one of my one of one of the person that I know, she knew that I was in Sindhi college, and she knew that I was working in the academic forum. And she called me one day and she said, Sandesh, I know one person is ready to, sell his academy, and we are all there to support you. But I want you to run the academy, the academic firm. And the first question that I asked her was, are you talking to me?
But she called you.
Yeah, the reason why that question came was out of my insecurities, my fear. Can I do it? Right? And I said, Auntie, I'll think about it and I'll call you. And after 2 days, she called me back and I tried my best to avoid the call. Only because I feared. Can I run this? Again, I thank my education systems that really put me in a zone thinking, saying, to run an academy, you need a PhD. But here I am, I'm already getting an opportunity because somebody else has seen my quality. That's why they're referring that to me. But I'm thinking in my fixated thoughts, no, I need a PhD to run an academy, and I'm just an MSc. How can you run the show?
Just an MSc.
Yeah, but today I really need that opportunity, but I don't. So that I think that is my biggest regret. Probably I should have taken it up, and who knows?
What if? Another question. Why do you think C student end up ruling A student?
That's a brilliant question that I've always pondered about because I was a B student. So I understand the C and the A very well. All my life I was the B student, and I see the C student being more, in the way school puts it, they're more naughtier, but the way I see it, they're more creative. And the A student, the way school see it, are more good and more able, but I see them, sorry, but they're just bookworms, the nerds, right? And I think that's where the whole difference is. When A is preparing for exams, C is preparing for life. And I think
When
C is
A is
already
preparing.
growing, A is still fixated. So yeah, that's why C is always overpowering. Because they're there. They're preparing for life.
I had the same challenge when I was in my, I think, how do I translate it to Indian context now? We run the 6-3-3 education system there. 6 years for primary, 3 years for junior secondary, and then 3 years for senior secondary. So instead of 10
10 plus 2.
10 plus 2, we do 6 in primary, that is lower primary and upper primary, then 3 in junior secondary, and then 3. So when you come to 3, it's called senior secondary. That's where you now specialize, either science, commerce, or art. So my mom was a teacher. She was teaching with the government. She had a friend. So while I was in my first high school, I went about 3. My first high school, I was a naughty guy. Now, after some time, my mom had to transfer me from that school. It was a private school, to another school, to her own school, where she was working in the army barracks. So when I joined the school, because she was getting too much complaint from that school. This boy is troubling us. When I joined that school, a very close friend, in fact, it's like they planned it. They gave birth to their kids at the same time, like the same year. Our firstborn is the same year with my elder sister. The second born is the same year with me. She was my teacher, a friend. And I was in the second year. I was in like 11. So I was in the second year when I transitioned to that college, to that school. So she was my teacher. She would teach me in class. Now there's a vast difference between a student from a private school and a student from a government school. And in my primary, funny enough, my mom's friend, they had a school, a primary school. So that was where I did my first primary education. And up until I was in class 4, 5, I was always in the first 3 in my class. So to an extent, so she knew my history from when I was a young boy. So when I joined a school in SS2, that's 11, I was senior secondary school too. She was teaching me, and then we wrote exam. And now when I came to this government school, I see that my classmates, only like 1 or 2 of them are really sound. So I was feeling like a local champion, you know. So one day, after exam, she looked at my script and called my mother and said, "Your son is wasting his potential in art. Send him back to science." I was a few months away from graduating. So during the break, my mom thought about it. She didn't even consult me. She just
Directly
told me, my friend said, "You're wasting your life in art.
So
I'm sending you to science." And what she told her is said, "Your son is too intelligent for art. He has more capability than he's using. Send him to art department." So send him to science, sorry. So my mom just asked one of her friends in another town, said, "Find us an admission in science." So that means I have to go back
again from first.
So, but one thing I'm glad that I did was I did not discontinue my 12th, which was my SS3, because it was a government school and she had connection there. They were maintaining attendance for me when I joined that. So I started science again from first year when I'm already in the final year in art. So by the time I was in the second term of my science, it was time for me to write my board exam. So I took a break from science. I went home, wrote my science, my art, and then came back. So in the second year of my science, we have an opportunity to attempt the board exam, the final board exam from the second year. If you clear it, you're good to go. If not, you can do your third year. So in my second year again, which was like the third term, I attempted the science board exam. My mom's brother also was a teacher. So she got me registered in his school for the board exam. So I took a break from school to write the exam and I wrote the exam. So the art, I cleared it. I got, decent grade. And then the science also, I got a decent grade. And we have something called JAMB, Joint Admissions Matriculation Board. Instead of direct admission here, like it is in India, you will have to write a government exam, an entrance exam. But this time we are competing against the entire number of students that graduated that year and those who have graduated before but have not cleared the exam. So for us, we had the total mark was 400. For you to study medicine, you need, I think, around 350. Anything less than that, you'll have to try again. And you get to choose only 2 universities, your first choice and your second choice. So I'm saying this story to say that fast forward, I studied industrial technology in Nigeria, but it was not interesting to me. I had the brain power. I had the brain power to, I can understand, I can learn it, but it doesn't appeal to me.
It's not for you.
Because my mom, she trained me on books. She would buy me a lot of books during summer break. So I grew up reading, not doing much of computers and all that. I didn't interface much with the science aspect of things. I was more interested in
The art aspect of it.
in the brain, like
Philosophies, yeah.
so that was so I came when I was coming to India again. She said computer applications. I said no. No. I would prefer to do IMT, information media technology. The agent just found his way around and got me computer applications. I got here, my first semester, good result. Second semester, good. Third sem, I'm like,
Why?
I'm done here. I don't want to do this again. So, this is to say to parents that the fact that a child is excelling in a certain aspect of academics does not mean that is a guarantee for success in life.
Flourish.
Because without boasting, I think I'm doing better than many people on an average who have the same level of education that I have. And when I look at it, the work I'm employed to do today by this great institution, it's not what I went to study in school. It is what I took my time to learn informally. Informally. So, what pains me is now, you said you wanted to play cricket, you also wanted to do music. Your parents said no, Ila. Now, the same thing happened to me. The pain is there are so many dreams that have been buried because of the fixed mindset. Because imagine Sachin Tendulkar did not take that risk and say, this is what I'm going to do.
Do traditional stuff.
Or MS Dhoni, even Virat Kohli. Or in football, Sunil Chetri, A.R. Rahman. These guys, they would be seen like rebels, especially in the society. If you decide to do something different than the way
as a rebel, this fellow
is gone,
doesn't succeed in life.
They'll consider you like a rowdy.
Yeah.
So it's just my thought. People ask me, my daughter she's about to be 4. They're asking me, so what will she become? Why are you asking me?
Yeah.
She's just about to be 4 years old. Which school will you put her? Put her in this school. She should do ICSE. She should not do this state board because I said, what is all this? If my mom allowed me to play football earlier, I think
would have been
I would be
next Ronaldo.
a top professional today. But because she said no, finally, when she agreed, it was almost too late. She agreed that I should play football when I was 23 years old. So, most of the trials I'm going, because football is age sensitive, most of the trials I'm going, they're like, you're already
too old.
You're almost too old.
For this.
But just try. So, fixed mindset is a barrier to succeed. Now, so we'll wrap this up. If we don't stop, we'll keep on like this.
Yeah.
I would like you to talk to the 18-year-old or the 25-year-old that is watching this, that maybe is not doing well in academics, and societal pressure is making this young person think they're a failure. What do you say to that?
I think
you once told me about one of my classmates, Usman, and the other, what's his name, who is now a cinematographer.
Sanket.
So we all studied together. Usman is doing his, I think, masters or something in
journalism abroad.
But I spoke to him a few months after that, and we were all in your class, but
All of them are scattered here and there.
we're all doing okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing all right.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
say something to that. You've trained students as a professor. I think parents should also listen to this. This is
I think I'm just going to tell a story which I'm always good at. So there was this man who was a very handsome, fine looking young man. He got into the auditions and he got into one of the biggest movie franchise and he became a hero. In fact, a superhero. And boom, his career skyrocketed. And he was really the talk of the town. So, since it was a franchise, first and second part and third part they did. And he was now the most wanted hero ever. And one day it so happened that during his break, he took his horse, he went on a ride, and he fell down and he broke his spine cord and he had a massive accident. And immediately was rushed to the hospital. And during his treatment, he's trying to, turn his head and he's not able to. He tried to lift his hands, not able to. Tried to lift his feet, not able
not able to.
That's when it stuck to his mind. Oh no, I'm paralyzed. He was completely paralyzed right from here. The only thing that was able to, the only thing that was able to move is just a little of his jaw and the eyes. The rest, everything was paralyzed. And in fact, there's I was seeing the documentary, and it seems he told his wife, please tell the doctor to kill me. I'm not able to take it. And the wife hugged him and said, please don't. I will live with you and I will help you and I will support you.
What a wife.
But look at his condition. In fact, he's the actor. His name is Clark, who was the famous Superman hero. Right? He did 3 parts and now is in this condition. But what happens next is the biggest thing. He didn't stop there. Of course, he was discharged home and he started thinking. That's when he founds a foundation called as Reeves Foundation. And he finds this foundation. And today, in fact, Reeves Foundation is one of the biggest foundations to support people like him. So he renewed his life through that foundation. And he literally became the actual Superman, what he was on the screens. He became a real life Superman, helping thousands of people like him. And I think this is what I like to tell all the viewers, especially that 18-year-old and the 25-year-old. It doesn't matter where you are, but it definitely matters where you are going to go. Because I think our lives are in between the sunrise and the sunset. What you do in between matters the most. Because sunrise is anyway going to happen.
Yes.
Sunset is anyway going to happen. But what are you going to do in between that? Are you going to stick there and say, I'm comfortable with this and it's okay, I'll just move on? Or are you going to say, I think I want to make a difference and I want to move ahead, I'm going to rise up and I'm going to be a success? But trust me, that comes with a cost. That comes with sleepless nights, comes with a lot of sacrifices. But once you get there, I think you're the top 1% of the world. So, yeah, that's where we are.
If you're still watching, thank you for joining with us so far. My name is Praise Ayodiji, and this is the School of Inspiration. This is student and teacher on the School of
Being a
Inspiration.
good student.
In fact, this is a bonus point. I had a different setup ready for this podcast, but my teacher came and said, let's change it and make it like this. So whatever you're seeing now is the production design of my former psychology professor who never stopped teaching. Until today, he's still teaching me. So, and one more thing, before you go, please press the like button and subscribe. If you've learned anything from this session, the only request is that you like and subscribe so that many like you can also get the opportunity to learn from this. And write in the comment section what you've learned from this conversation, and also make a suggestion the next guest you'd like to see on this. But I'm saying this is not the last. This is the first.
Yes.
We are going to have many more.
Yes.
So thank you, sir, for doing this with me. And I'm honestly glad that I got to do the first episode of the School of Inspiration with you.
Yeah. And I'm so glad. I definitely see a cycle of life. I was teaching you to now we're sitting together, the same platform. And I think this was the most blessed thing, because my students are always my inspiration for me, and that's beautiful to see that.
In fact, when I tell people you were my professor, they're like, huh? How? So I tell them what happened was, it's not like I came to India when I was already an adult. I was not a teenager when I came. So it's now easier for them to understand me, like, how is it possible? So wow. Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
See you on the next episode.